Hi everyone,
Hello everyone.
we're back. Sorry, we just needed to post that we're live everywhere. Today we want to take a small look at the new update that's gonna release after our stream.
It's not a huge one, it's a small update, but a few noticeable features.
We're going through them and showing a little preview of the AI and what you will be able to do with it.
But it's quite a stripped down version. Only features that are currently working are visible, but you can clearly see what the big picture of the AI is going to be.
Okay. We scared you, buddy. I'm sorry. Hope you had a good day. And let's start off with what's new. If you have any questions, just let us know in chat. We're looking and we're going to answer all your questions. So first of all, because we're in the town now, it might say if you don't see it, but we limited the amount of citizens that you can have in the town. It's now 100 instead of unlimited before. So if you like level 200 or 300, there was always 3 citizens per level. We limited that to 100 because it was getting quite laggy. If you didn't notice already, that's already part of the last content update. You can now click your cubes and you have names. Actually, Matt is right here, going to the workshop. But Matt shouldn't be going to the workshop. He should be going to the factory because that's what we're going to look at next. Quite a few smaller things have changed here.
Yep.
Do you want to talk a little bit about it and also about the new exotic skill?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, thank you, Buddy, for the list with the bugs and the issues in the recipes, because that really helped a lot. Because, as I sent you a screenshot with how recipes are defined, and I think it's quite clear that, it's really easy to make mistakes or typos. So, if there are any bugs in the recipes, I'm really sorry for that, because it looks quite messy. Okay, so first of all, there's a new exotic skill in the factory. It's called Chemical Lumps. It changes the recipe of the lumps to require only 4 instead of 8 lower tier lumps. So you can see, currently it requires 8 lower tier and 1 higher tier to create a lump. And once you skill the exotic skill, the recipe only requires 4. Which allows you to create about 512 times more ores of the final tier when you're using the first tier ore. It looks like it's only a small effect, but I think Buddy already did the math. You're a lot faster now if you want to craft the exotic producer.
Which was something that a lot of you requested, that it's easier to get the exotic producer.
Yeah. Well, there are still going to be more features that are going to make that simpler and easier, but it should be possible now to do it before the release of the full game.
Buddy says it's over 10 times faster, and it requires 5 QE exotics.
Nah, that's our exotic amount.
He was looking at our exotics, okay.
Requires 5
that would make sense, yeah.
That
you're
would
right.
be a lot.
That means that I have to kill Cubus 125 times now?
Well, there's a small change regarding Cylindro, actually. Cubus is the third boss. Cubus Jr.
Well, spoilers.
There are small changes to a few recipes because they had wrong prices or maybe used the wrong resources or stuff like that. I think I don't have the full list here, but
there was one recipe that was that didn't show up anything. I remember.
Yeah, that was because it was too large for the tier. The grid was too small if you have the factory at the same tier where it becomes available. Yeah, there were some issues with the pricing. For example, the oven tier 9 and tier 10 had the same price. And that should work now. The values are going to change over time, but the completely bugged ones are gone now. Is there anything else in the factory that's new?
I mean, there was a bug that you could get shop items, but that's fixed now. Let's not mention how you do it.
Well, if you do in the live version, you don't get anything from it. You actually lose more than you get. You could, when you right click on an item, you can purchase all of the whole shop stack of the item, and it was possible to purchase items when they are not unlocked yet. So yeah, I don't know if that's any useful because you don't have any recipes to use the items, but you could purchase them before they were available. But the plates use metal names, but everything else uses tier numbers. Yeah, that's actually a good question because there are two different designs. There were two, yeah. In the beginning, I had the idea to make the factory use real world metals and stuff like that, but at some point I just quit the idea because it's hard to make 10 tiers of real life metals that are connected to in a I don't know how to say it, meaningful way. It's hard to create 10 different materials that make sense in that context. So I just stuck to the tier idea.
Basically because it's way simpler, right?
Yep. Oh, there are a few different hotkeys as well. You as you know, clicking left click purchases 1. I think holding shift purchases 5. Was there something with controller? Oh, holding shift and right click purchases the half of the available items, and purchasing right click purchases the whole stack.
I think that is about purchasing.
Yeah,
as the only option.
Yeah, I think we should add them to the help screen or help selection at the moment. Later on, there will be more intuitive design controls.
And also better help pages, because that's something that new people always say. Yes, we know, but it doesn't really make sense to like put a lot of effort in it now, and then we have to change it anyway soon because the whole game changes.
Yep.
If you want help information, go to the wiki page because that's accurate and there's already a lot of it on it. Also for the laboratory experiments.
Yeah, it's currently the most reliable help page, the wiki. Okay, so I think that's it about the factory at the moment. So let's move on to...
you can show the dashboard because the missing buildings have been added, the museum, and let me look over here, the power plant was also one of them.
Yeah. And in future there are going to be small things right next to the buildings that allow you either to make quick actions or do something quickly without having to enter the building. For example, in a mine it could be something like, I don't know, refresh all layers or stuff like that. Basically you can open the dashboard and click through these things and do whatever you'd like to do in a more quickly way. But
it will also show like notifications, like if something has completed and you maybe not aware of it, it will show in here.
What an exotics there. Well, I think there's no space for them. Could make them toggleable up there.
The question is, do you really need it there? It's not that you will use it in the dashboard, so you will always go in the building to use them.
Yeah, that's a good idea from Buddy. A button that fills the drill, for example, could be in there.
Yeah.
Autofill and auto restart the drill, or something like that.
Hey Shay, maybe let's move on to the trading post because that has changed quite a bit.
Yeah, not visually because there's going to be visual design, but all the deals are now work percentage based. That means you don't trade it only a single time or multiple times, depending on your upgrades. You trade a percentage of your resources based on deal. For example, let's take this one. At tier 1, you can only trade 100% of your resources. And Shika, you got a bone to pick with me? What bone?
Oh, it's because you removed the Easter egg about the saves.
The Easter egg about the saves?
Yeah, the little text, the little hint. Don't be a Shay. Save your saves.
Where did I remove that?
I was in the. Do you really want to delete your save game? In the dialogue.
When did I remove that?
Long ago. That was like probably a few months ago.
I didn't even notice that you worked on the save screen.
Yeah, but you removed it like in one of the updates of the dialogue.
Okay. Okay. Basically, I'll upgrade this quickly. So on the final tier, you can convert 1% of your resources based on this conversion factor. There are going to be skills that show you which deals are good, which are bad, and yeah, some more utility skills to make this more readable, or yeah. And for example, there could also be skills that allows you to get deals with gems and exotic gems,
So
which are going to be rare.
maybe it would be good to mention how it worked before and why this change is better than it was before.
Yeah, the problem was how it worked previously was that you could only trade it a fixed amount of times. So either 1 or 2 or 3. I think it was 1, 2, 5, 10, and 100 times, just like the percentages. And the problem is it's obvious that it's going to be useless in the late game, because if you trade, for example, 32,000 red cubes to 11,000 green cubes, that's nothing in the late game. So I think the percentage-based approach was mentioned in the ideas channel, and yeah, that's something that makes the trading post useless from the beginning till the end of the game.
The trade shouldn't be removed upon doing the deal.
That's actually going to be a skill to allow you to trade multiple times. Or for example, something like a skill could be, at the moment you trade, the deal stays, but the conditions get worse or something like that. It's only slightly, or stuff like that, where there are tons of options. The trading post doesn't have any skills yet. No exotic skills and no regular skills. So yeah, there's huge room for ideas.
And also it might change again, right? Because if like this is not suitable, and it's probably still needs a bit of tweaking, especially for late game.
Yep.
Then it's going to be changed again.
Yeah. Trading post is still work in progress, like most other buildings. I think the most completed building in terms of features at the moment is the factory, actually, because there's only a few skills missing and balance and a better UI, but from the amount of content it has, it's quite full.
Hi Rangaman, welcome to the stream.
Hi. Yeah.
Do you wanna maybe show the little bit of new functionality that will make Buddy very happy?
Yeah, sure.
They will allow him to do another 4,000 cylinder kills.
Yep. That's the next goal.
So Buddy, this one is for you. We expect 5k kills by the end of next week.
You can skip the cinematic now.
Just a you can't do that. Why? You can now skip, so you have the time.
So pressing escape doesn't quit the boss fight during the cinematic, it just skips the cinematic. Just a minor change, but it saves a lot of time if you want to farm gems like that. Even though in the final game I don't know if it's going to be very useful, because usually when you defeat a boss you get the next tier of the boss, so it gets harder. And the rewards are going to be, I think, a linear increase or something like that. For example, first 1 exotic gem on the first kill, 2 exotic gems on the second tier. So it's going to be it's going to be better to beat the boss at higher tiers instead of lower tiers multiple times.
But you don't have to farm the boss, you can also do shipments.
Yep.
For exotic gems. So
plus various other things that are going to be
Yeah.
going to unlock exotic gems.
And I believe no one has the producer yet, so
Yep.
I would say that's an option, but it takes a while to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, there are also not many upgrades yet that you can invest your exotic gems into, except for laboratory. But yeah.
And in general, a lot of skills are missing. That's why when you have 200 skill points, there's not really anything you can spend it on. Rabbit is now hosting. Thank you, Rangaman.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but this skipping allows the people who want to farm to do it much faster. I know Buddy calculated it at some point, how much time he spent just watching the cinematic at the beginning.
Few hours.
And you can show it, like if you start the boss again, and at the beginning, how long, actually, no, don't skip it, how long it takes.
I can tell it to you, I programmed the intro. It's around 15 seconds.
Yeah. And all of that you can just skip now.
Times 2 modem boss fight.
So Buddy said 8 hours. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And he did 1,000 cylinder kills and spent 8 hours just watching the intro over and over again.
There's another small change in the town that's not really visible and not easily to show on the stream. But when you use the idle mode now, I don't know if there are no resources. But if you use the idle now at the moment, it completely disables the rendering of the town and the logic of citizens and stuff like that.
I can just quickly do one.
Okay, let's rush through it quickly.
But I mean, you won't see it anyways.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything in visual perspective. But from a, I don't know, performance perspective, you would notice it because I don't know if you can show it on stream. I don't think so.
No, it doesn't show.
Oops.
So. Yeah, but basically it's more performant, and if you don't believe us, you can test it out and let us know.
So, wait a second.
There was no Bitcoin miner, so didn't need to remove anything.
We still need to add it to every changelog. So, actually, we could show that in Unity, because if you would move the camera around, yeah, it's difficult at the moment because we set the stream up in a way to stream only the game, so we can't really show the rest of Unity. But it basically disables the town, the citizens, and everything. So
a lot of things that were still loaded in the background are just gone now to save performance.
Yeah, it's should be around 50% faster.
Okay. Is there anything we need to show before going on to the scripting part? I don't think so, actually. The third from the bottom I don't really want to show on our little list.
Okay.
No, I think everything that will be in the changelog we showed off.
They're limited now, the citizens. You can only have 100 of them.
Yeah, we mentioned it before. Citizens are limited to 100 now. And if it's still is like imperformant for you, just tell us. That would be interesting. I think with 100 it shouldn't really matter that much. Okay.
There's Speedy walking to the construction firm.
Question is, am I a citizen? I actually don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Right now it's just people from Patreon.
There was Jeremy.
But in the future it will also be the alpha testers will be added to this for the names.
Oh, I'm twice in the town.
Well, in theory you should be there then, Shay. Yes, you'll be a citizen as well.
Duplicate citizens.
It's also interesting now, because if one of the citizens goes to the edge and is like, oh no, is he gonna jump? We know who it is. Like this one. Oh, Sink. He wasn't here for long. Hasn't been seen. Did you see? There's a little clipping issue.
Yep. It's currently a problem with the water. Oh, Fox may exist twice.
There should be one citizen that is named after your profile name. But why?
That's a good question.
I think also one of the problems before with the amount of citizens was that you couldn't really play his town assets anymore because there was no space because of all the citizens.
Ooh, can make a road.
Yeah, you can align them. Okay, should we show off the AI or what's there right now?
Yeah, we can do that. So basically the AI is going to be the automation part of the game, and it's going to be very, very universal. So no things like a simple auto purchaser or auto something. It's more like, basically it's something you can script inside the game. Currently there are only a few things available just to show off what it's going to look like, because functionally a lot more is available, but there's still a lot of UI missing. So I think we should just get into it.
Yeah.
So I think I'll delete these.
Yeah. So. But right now you already see in the headquarters, the facility AI tab, for us at least, it has the AI part or the basic AI part. And then you update, the functionality is in the game, but you won't be able to unlock this. So this is just to show you what's already there and give you an idea of what's to come.
And we're going to make a cheap semi-auto miner. Just call this mine. And yeah, there are currently only 3 functionalities available to show off how it's going to look like. So basically you can create a script, and you can click on program to program the script. Each script consists of 3 parts: impulses, conditions, and actions. An impulse is basically a trigger, what triggers the script. A condition is basically a condition that has to be fulfilled in order to do the actions that come afterwards. To show off, we have a few impulses. The wake up impulse is triggered every time the AI awakes, basically. Mm-hmm. You're going to have a hotkey that toggles the AI between awake and sleeping. So and wake up is basically the wake up trigger. So we just add that. And then we don't have any conditions to show off at the moment. But basically you could say, okay, conditions, for example, if you're in town or if you are in the game or something like that. For this case, we just say, okay, we just show the mine.
Yeah. So basically open the mine.
Yeah. As you can see, it shows it basically in a verbal way to show you what's going on. As you can see, I hope it's readable on the stream. This is all work in progress. It's going to change a lot.
I think it's readable.
Okay.
Looks good down here.
Shows, hides. Okay, you can say show.
So we want it to show up. So when the AI wakes up, we want it to show the mine screen.
The UI. Yeah. So we can test that. It should work already. If you press F10, as you can see, we now have basically a hotkey to open the mine. Okay. Now let's change that to...
What if you don't have an F10 key?
Yeah, that depends on the controls. That's currently just a placeholder key. It's going to be in the control screen that you can set any key to toggle the AI on or off. Also, there's going to be a border around the screen that shows you if the AI is currently on or off. For example, basically like this, but just with AI overlay. Yes, let's make a cheap miner.
There might also just be, wait, if I can close this again, can you just go into on for a quick moment?
Okay.
Might also be a thing that we can put a button here under the town assets or something like that, where you can start or toggle the AI.
But it should be available in-game as well.
Okay, you can't even see that on the stream because our face cam is in front of it, but...
Oh, yeah.
But somewhere where you have a button that you maybe can even enable or disable, so if you don't want to have it.
There's going to be a different event for key press. There are going to be key press events that you can set for certain keys. So it's not just going to be wake up script. Wake up is specifically for when the AI toggles between from on to off to on. The problem is, since the AI is offline when you toggle it offline, there's not going to be a go to sleep event, because when it goes to sleep, it instantly shuts down. So all the scripts stop midway. Let's continue with this one. Let's just make one for the first row. There are no loops at the moment, but later on you can just set a loop that loops basically through all the tiles. And all the components of the AI have to be basically unlocked and installed. Either in the I think the testing department is going to be renamed. Maybe in something like software or something like that. And there you can install then different action packages that unlock more features for the AI. So there's going to be a limit on how big scripts are, which is going to be upgradable. And the speed of the AI is based on a combination of RAM and CPU. Basically, each line is going to require a certain part of RAM. So whenever a script triggers, it puts the whole script into the RAM of the AI. And once basically you can start on a very high amount of scripts. There's going to be a technical limit because of performance reasons, but you can overload your RAM basically to load more scripts than possible, and if that happens, then the AI slows down. So each action is not executed at a few milliseconds, but rather at for example, like 1 or 2 seconds between each action. So it slows down if you have too many scripts running at once. Why are there limits? Well, basically, since this is part of the progression of the game. If there were no limits, you could unlock the AI and the game would be done. It would become basically a programming game.
Well, it would be done very quickly.
Yeah.
Since the AI, once you see it, like it can do a lot of things very quickly.
As you can see, now I have, when I toggle the AI, I can instantly mine the top layer with just a few clicks.
And now you could make it also that it opens the mine. Actually, you could change the impulse here and say if mine tile is open, the mine is open, right? The impulse, you could change it. If you kick that one out, and at the impulse for...
At the moment you open the mine, it starts mining. Yeah, that's possible. So I don't know if is the AI on? Not sure.
I don't know.
Is it on?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on then. So basically, once you open the mine, it automatically triggers the script.
And now we could also make another script that opens the mine when we press the key.
Yeah. No, I don't think we didn't ignore the question. I think it was answered implicitly. With the full AI, basically you can automate anything in a game, because you could make a script that simply, requests what Cylindro is currently doing and act depending on that. For example, there's an impulse: if Cylindro falls down, move 2 fields to the left or something like that. But well, it depends on how broad we're going to expand the AI. Yeah.
So possibly.
Basically, you can change scripts. For example,
just make another script now to open the mine first.
Let's make one with open mine. So, and in this script,
we say when the AI wakes up,
it shows the mine. So when you're not toggling the AI. Oh, I think there's still a small issue. We should load a different scene. Now try it again. Yep. Yeah, currently it
only works once.
Yeah, there's a issue at the moment when you open an UI screen. It only opens once. But basically, you could make an AI that's once you activate it in town, it simply goes through every building and does whatever action you define for that building.
So Shay asks, can we get a way to export it to a string and import it again?
Yep. Definitely, there's going to be something like script export and import. Currently, the major problem of the scripting is the memory size, because save games are going to be quite huge when you have a lot of saves. So this might be something we have to connect to the cloud, for example. That we could add a service that allows you to have more scripts or something like that.
I mean, we could also maybe make what I was thinking about, but this is just something that I was thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that it's going to be in a game. But for example, we could have a little way that, for example, on our website or on our service, you can upload your script and share it with other people. and then basically from the game you can browse that list of scripts and download any script at any time. It's kind of like if you think of mods, like a showcase of mods, and you can download it just from the from within the game and share your scripts if you create them. That would also be easier for people who don't really want to get into it to still use the feature by just downloading a script somebody else has made. Buy a script pass £3 and you get 10 scripts.
A season script pass.
Go full EA on us. So for
So
every
each-
action you have to pay $1.
Per script.
Yes. So what did you change? I didn't look.
I don't know.
Remove the open mine and it should work again.
Yeah, this one. It's
Yes.
a buggy script.
You
I
might
think we have to
do
reload the
the
scene.
scene. Yeah. Loot packs to unlock new script parts. I want a free slot for each 100 cylinder kills I have. Actually, I think we didn't discuss if there will be a limit on the amount of scripts that you can actually have in the game. I mean, of course, a limit is like the RAM and stuff like that, but that you have available.
Even the amount of scripts you can have in this screen.
Yes.
Oh, I think that's going to link to the technology part. Also, there's going to be more options instead of just CPU and RAM. For example, certain features are going to require certain servers with certain parts.
You need a cylinder card to kill cylinder.
Yep. Yeah, I was even thinking about a different mechanic, for example, where you have to train your AI in order to make it faster at the things it has. For example, you build 20 scripts, and whenever you change something of the scripts, you have to retrain the AI. For example, I don't know, like 2 hours or 3 hours, and then it works at full speed.
So it seems that Shay really wants a Bitcoin miner to support us. He really wants to mine Bitcoins for us.
Yeah, we could should just add another hardware to the server, so like Bitcoin miner back down there.
So little extra cards, PCI cards that you can plug in a Bitcoin miner. Got a good CPU, might as well go for it.
Yeah.
Do you plan on changing the UI outside of the screen, like where you have the overview of all the scripts?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like right now, with all the buttons at the bottom, it kind of doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like,
Yeah,
it's
there's
not
going to be
intuitive.
more here. More details about the script. And more functionality. For example, you can also have scripts, but disable them so they never trigger.
Okay.
And yeah. Since it's all work in progress at the moment. The hardest part is really UI. Technically, everything works from a scripting point of view. But the combination between UI stuff and the scripting part is not... Yeah,
It takes a while.
takes a while. Yep, they're also going to be... They're still missing a few other features, like, for example, you can't change the order of these things. You have to delete every single one of it and then move them up and stuff like that. Yeah. Also, the AI is going to make things a bit faster than a player could. For example, the show hide UI feature shows the screen instantly, not just with this fading effect, but it just opens it instantly.
So Pizza Cutter just mentioned that we should put a terminal in the game, and we're done. Instead of the UI stuff, just one terminal where you can enter your things.
Yeah, but that would limit extraordinary how many people are going to be able to use the AI. Yeah.
I mean, maybe for the beginning we could do that just to show off more features in the future, before they are actually visible.
Yeah.
That might be interesting, Because right now I think like you get an idea of what the AI is, but as long as you don't really see it do the crazy stuff that we had at the beginning, I don't think that you really grasp what this is going to do, that this is actually automating the entire game. That once you get the full AI going, it plays the game for you, or it can play the game for you if you want.
Will the AI be able to mine while I'm in a game? I don't think that's going to be possible. Actually, we planned some interaction with the town while you're in game, but yeah, there's basically a caching problem somehow, or a UI problem. I mean, we could add the building screens to the in-game screen.
I mean, didn't we talk about something that's that was still considered as AI, but it was not AI scripting, but some automations that the AI can do for you, and this might be one of them then.
Yes.
Like also for in-game, we had a few things that the AI can do without you even needing to script it. It's basically a lower tier of the AI.
Yeah. For example, refilling the drill in the mine or stuff like that. Simple tasks.
So it might still be one of the things that will make it into the game, but we don't have a concrete plan for that yet. We're more focusing on the scripting part first.
Yeah. Also, the possibilities are limitless. For example, we could simply add a task that says like show message box or something like that, or show info box, and the impulse is I don't know, the mine generates a new layer, and then if you add a condition like if the mine has 10 layers of a certain resource, then you could craft a messaging system for you in game that tells you whenever the mine is completely full or something like that.
Yeah, it's good to make the mine auto refill would be easier. That was just an example of things, of smaller tasks that the AI might do without scripting even. So basically it would be like a module or something that you install in the headquarters, like in the testing, that just have here and you can toggle. So if it's installed and you activated it, then it can do something in the background like simple tasks without you needing to actually script it.
Yep. And there are also going to be, I'd say, low-level features. For example, perform a mouse click. You could simply add the coordinates. Where is it? There. Basically, something like, I don't know, perform a mouse click, and then you can enter simply the coordinates at that. I'm just thinking about how we're going to do that visually to make it a bit easier. For example, it could be something like, you know how these color pickers for paint or something like this works. So you click somewhere here and then you click on the area where the AI supposed to click. Or something like that. Or you can even change the screen or something like that. Or perform a key press, or I think we'll start with the low level things, because once you have them you can already create anything. But yeah.
With a bit more actions, you could actually already create a lot of things. Just since the UI is not there yet. For example, opening up any other building doesn't really make sense. You can't really do anything right now.
Yeah.
It's just the mine stuff that is there. So once all the other tests are in there, it's actually going to be a lot more usable. You don't.
We didn't link it to the wake up event. We linked it to the open mine event.
Yeah.
Now it should work. And yes, there's going to be a new layer function. So you can just simply press it once and it goes through all layers.
Much faster than your auto clicker, buddy. Much, much faster.
Yeah, the AI is not going to be restricted by certain UI limits. For example, when you press new layer, there's a small cooldown because that was actually a requested feature, because some people accidentally click twice, and yeah, that basically destroys one layer of resources. But the AI is not restricted to things like that. So yeah, I think the only things that where there's a difference between the layer and the AI is basically the new layer button in the mine, and I think the purchase item button in the factory, because they also have a short cooldown.
Shay, once we push the AI, actually when it's live and unlockable, you can compare your auto clicker to it and then tell us if it's actually the same or faster.
Currently the AI is slowed down, I think, by a factor of 10 to actually see that there's something going on. Because, for example, if I made a script at the moment that opens all town screens one after another, you wouldn't see anything, because it would instantly go through all of them.
And you would just see the last one then, basically.
I think... Actually, I have to test that. There's a wake up impulse. I think we have, but we have to hide them afterwards. Oh. No. Just have to check if...
Because otherwise you can't open the other screen?
Yep.
But maybe you should delete the mine, or you can leave it. Actually,
Yeah, it doesn't do anything when the mine is not open. Certain actions are limited to the screen, so if you're not in the mine,
yeah, you see it for like a split second.
is it even visible on the screen? On the stream?
You can do it quickly. So the AI can go really fast through all the things and perform all the actions in there.
Yep. And these limitations are just test limitations. They're not real. So not the real ones. That's going to be final. I think the real limitation is going to be something that's for the entire script. For example, lines of actions or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you could add, for example, 10 impulses or in 2 actions, if the limit would be 12, for example, or 2 impulses and 10 actions, something like that.
Will you be able to chain impulses and say, if this and this, or this and this? So actually make and ors.
2 impulses at once.
For example, like impulse, wake up and mine is open.
That's a condition then.
Or it's a bad example, but there's nothing else right now as an impulse.
There is no scenario where 2 impulses come in at once. If there are 2 impulses registered at a script, then it triggers at both of them.
I guess it doesn't make
either
sense.
Of them.
Yeah. Just the or part makes sense.
Yeah. I think in the next stream we're going to show a bit more once we have more universal features and stuff like that. Also, saving the script is difficult at the moment. So it just saves the script with the impulses, but not the actions yet.
Okay. On that note, we're actually going to do regular streams now. So starting from this day, we'll at least stream once per week. We haven't really set a date and a time yet. And probably in the next month, we're just trying a few times and days, maybe, just to see what is a good time when most people can watch, and also which is a good time for us. We might also, just because at the Game Jam stream, it was actually well received when we were playing some Game Jam games. We might also do like once a week a stream for a few hours where we just play a few games together. This also gives us the opportunity to actually play new games, which we usually don't take the time for. If you have any ideas for that, or anything that you wish or you want to see us play, or want to see us do on stream, just let us know.
Are you going to jump?
No, I'm just chilling there. That's where I usually go. Yeah, just let us know on Discord. That's the best way. And if there's anything that you want us to show from the Perfect Tower on stream, like we could even do more like a coding stream where we actually code on stream, or where we do bug hunting, because we right now, for example, we have a big list of bugs that we got from Buddy, and we'll be going through them. So if that's something that's interesting for you, how we do that or how it looks like, that would be something that we could do on stream. Caddy Fluffy says a coding stream would be cool. So, like I said, just mention it on Discord. We'll be listening and we'll be thinking about it, and then just try it out. Yeah. I think that's all we wanted to show for today. Once we stop the stream, we're going to push the new update. So everything that we showed before will be in it. The AI is also in it, but you can't unlock it yet. So give us a bit more time to flush it out more, add more features, and then
Flush it out more.
and then it will be available in the game. Yeah. Do you have any more questions? Otherwise, we'll stop the stream for today.
GG.
Please don't go. Fun stream AI OP.
Yeah.
It's going to be very overpowered in the end.
Was that a stream summary? Fun stream AIOP.
Yeah.
I think. Are you going to release the update right now, or?
Once the stream is done, because then it's easier to actually move the things around. Okay. Even though Buddy doesn't want us to go, this is it for today. And like I said, we'll be streaming weekly. I'll announce it on Discord. We might even do another stream this week, but we are not 100% sure yet. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. And there's another question. Why can't you release the AI now? Mining hotkeys are still useful. Because, like Matt said before, for example, the saving doesn't properly work. There's still a few issues with that, and it's just too unstable, and it will change. So
yep.
It could be that you do something now, and then that breaks your entire save game, and we don't want that. So it's better to wait a little bit and then have something that's actually more functional. Okay. With that, have a good day, night, whatever time
evening,
you're
morning.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.